We are going to work on lab experiment 11, where we have to study the steady state measurement of the power supply, see how can we adjust the power supply and set up the voltage or the value of the voltage based on the value we need. And we will apply it by connecting the power supply with a resistor and see how the steady state of measurement of the power supply will be when we connect it with a resistor. Let's start with, here is the power supply that we did it in the experiment 10. Here is the voltage regulator, and here is the streamer that we will adjust to get the value that we need. First of all, we will start by connecting the voltage regulator. Make sure the light is on. So when the light is on, that means it's connected to the electricity. So make sure 100 times before touch anything that you will not touch the primary side, which is this side here. Just focus on the streamer. Don't touch any other equipment because it will hurt you and might be deadly. So let's start with the demonstrations. So the procedure, first of all, we will set the voltage regulator up to 20 range, and we will use these probes to find the voltage. So in the voltage probe and the ground. First of all, we will start with this table where we have the trimmer position, right side, yellow side. So here is the trimmer. We have one in the positive side, one in the negative side. The red one is a positive, the black is a ground for the positive, and here the blue or the green is a ground for the negative side, and yellow is the negative voltage. So we will start with the trimmer and the trimmer Y at the most clockwise, which is, it will be follow the clockwise. We can change it from here up to the most. And we will do the same thing at the negative side up to the most. Now we will find the voltage for both. Let's start with the positive side. Here is the positive and here is the ground. So the voltage is 18. While for the negative side, the voltage is minus 17.8, almost minus 18. Now we will go to the next step, which is a trimmer red, which is the positive side at the most counterclockwise, and Y at the most clockwise. So we'll keep the negative side as it is, but we will change the positive side to counterclockwise and see how much the voltage is. It's 1.24, which is the minimum value of the positive side, 1.24 voltage. For the negative side, it is minus 17.8, almost minus 18. It's the same thing as we did in the first steps because we didn't change anything with it. So the last step is trimmer red at the most clockwise position and trimmer at the most counterclockwise. So we will do the opposite right now. We will go with the positive side to the counterclockwise most, and the negative side will be counterclockwise. And see how much is the voltages. It's back to 18, which makes sense. And for the negative side, minus 1.27, which is the minimum value of the negative side. Here, the trimmer red at the center position and the trimmer Y at the most clockwise. So we will start with the center. If you look at the trimmer, you will see like a sign that represents the center of the trimmer. So let's set up at you can look at it. There is a sign represent that we are in the center right now. And for the negative side, it should be counterclockwise or just clockwise, not counter. Let's see where is the voltage. In the positive sides, it's 9.3, which makes sense because we are in the center, so it should be the 50% of the maximum value. It was 18, now it's 9. Here, at the most, is 17. We can conclude that whatever you change with positive and negative, it will not be in effect on the other side, which is independent for both of them. Now we'll do the same thing, but it will be this one at most clockwise, and this one would be at the center. All right, so the voltage at the positive of my phone. So we will back to this step, which is we have to set both positive side and negative side at the center. So let's set the one at the center, and we set already the negative side at the center, and find the voltage of it. It's 9.8, which is 50% of the maximum value, and for the negative side, 0.10. Actually, there is maybe 4 or 5% error compared with the positive side with the negative side. The last step is the trimmer Y, which is the negative side at the center, will be, and counterclockwise for the positive. So this one will be at the positive, and will be the negative side will be at the center. And find out the value is 1.24, which is the minimum value of the positive side when we do it at counterclockwise. And for the center, it should be minus 10 or close to that, minus 10.3. So in this case, when you just adjust the trimmer, you will set up the voltage or the value of the voltage regulator at the certain value based on your circuit or based on which value you are looking for. Now we want, before just cover these circuits, we have to set up both positive and negative side at 5 voltage. So I will just connect the voltmeter with it and do some editing very slow to see how much is it. Once to reach, yeah, it's almost 5. All right, 5.04. I need this value. And for the negative side, I will do the same thing, connect to the voltage meter, the voltmeter with the negative side, and just adjust the trimmer up to 5 voltage. I'm adjusting only the trimmer, so you can just look at the voltmeter and see how it's changed. Yeah, it's 5 fits. Now, once we finish, now we will cover the voltage regulator. I already used the screw to fix my circuits. You can do that, and if you have any questions, you can ask during the experiment, but it would be easy step. All right, so for now, as I said, the red represent the positive side, ground, and green represent the ground side, and the yellow represent the negative side. Now we are going to use the ohm ranger to connect with our supply. Here is the ohm ranger. We will use 2 wires. The first wire will be from the power supply, which is the positive side, connected with the resistor or variable resistor, and the other side of the variable resistor will go back to the ground. Now, to make sure that we are at the positive 5 voltage on the positive side, just set up the ohm meter at 1 mega and connect the voltmeter in parallel to see how much the value is on the voltmeter, on the resistor. It's 5.02, which is fine, so we can keep going with it. Here we have a list of values. We have to go through all of these values step by step and see how much the value is and write it down. From 1, 2, 3, up to 1 mega. But we have a note here, so you have to pay attention for this note that when you change the value of the variable resistors, make sure that you keep at least one of the switch is on, so you will not make it short circuit. So just pay attention for these notes. For example, if I'm working on 1 mega and I want to measure the value for one resistor, 1 ohm, so just turn on 1 ohm, then back to 1 mega and turn off. In this case, you will keep 1 on. So let's start with the first one, which is 1. It will be, so the voltage when we have 1 ohm resistor is 0.8. Now I will go to 2 ohm and turn off 1 ohm, 1.55, which is an increase actually. So we will do the same steps up to 1 mega. Now we are on 3 ohm. We have 1.63 still going up. 1, 2, 3, and we have now right now 4. So we will turn on 4, then we will back to 3 and turn off. We have 2.6. We will do the same steps up to 1 mega. So we have 100K. So here is 100K. I will turn on and turn the resistor 4 off, and we have 5 when we have 100K. And the last thing is 1 mega, which is turn on 1 mega and turn off 1K. So you can see actually the voltage of the resistor is going in, it's significantly increasing when we have small value of the resistors. But once you reach up to big values of the resistors, it will be very slightly difference the voltage. It will not be that much showing. Now we will do the same steps, but with the negative side. So here is the negative side, the ground, and here is the negative side. We have the ground and we have the negative side. So the voltage on 1 mega is -5 because we are in the negative side. We will do the same steps for all of the value of the resistor up to 1 mega. Start with 1 ohm up to 1 mega. You will read all of these. Once you finish, you will plot the result from step 16 and 17, which is V's value. You will apply these 40 values, and you will have two tables. The first table represents the value of the resistor in one column, and in the second column represent the voltage at that resistor, the positive side. And you will have another table that has two columns. The first column represents the value of the resistors from 1 to 1 mega, and the second column will represent the voltage of these values or resistors at the negative side. And good luck with the experiment.